Makeup, please.
Sorry.
How's our lighting? How's our lighting?
Lighting's okay. All right. Whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1, rolling.
All right, guys, we're here with Tim Goff with MyGroundForce. Tim, can you tell us what MyGroundForce does?
Sure. I'm a contractor myself, and what I found is it was just too expensive to grow your business the way we have to do it with no ability to have a system to manage it for you. So MyGroundForce allows you to grow without indirect headcount because the robots do all the work.
Now, can I ask you, when you say robots, what does that mean?
We use a computer technology or a code that's called robotic process automation. And the robots do everything that you would normally do. In my company, I have 50 trucks, 60 drivers, no admins, and no spreadsheets.
Oh, that sounds great. I like
That sounds
payroll cost.
Oh, yeah, solves a lot. So one of the biggest things is if you're not tracking your business, you can't improve, right? Like it's kind of old adage. If you're not tracking, you're not improving. So you get insight into your analytics, and now contractors can track like fuel expenses, their payroll. That's all included?
It's all included in one price. We have a complete dashboard with 12 key performance indicators in your business. We do profitability by tractor. We do monthly maintenance reports automatically. We do 25 different fully automated processes with no people involved.
Okay. So I'm going to be a new contractor. What are the top indicators I should be looking at right now to start? I don't want to be overwhelmed. What should I be looking at?
Well, you always want to know your revenue and how it breaks down and where you're being profitable. So you'll get it by tractor, profitability by tractor. And then the key levers are productivity by employee. We give you that information. And your fuel cost. We give you that information.
So fuel costs. So we did the freshman orientation yesterday, and that kind of opened my eyes into fuel costs and just very simply, miles per gallon by truck and tracking the life cycle of the truck. So that's huge. It could be a difference between 10,000, 80,000, very simply just by small points, right?
Yes.
Would MyGroundForce be able to track my miles per gallon per truck and be able to break that down, find those savings?
We do things nobody else does. Obviously, miles per gallon, that's really not the number one metric.
Okay.
We'll give you cost per mile. But what we really do is we take your FedEx fuel surcharge, we calculate it for you. It's very difficult to do that by hand. And then we compare that to how much you spent on fuel last week. So we give you a fuel profitability dashboard. It's either green or red. If you got paid more in fuel surcharge than you spent on fuel, it's green. If you spent more on money on fuel than you got paid in surcharge, it's red. And if you're a contractor and you spend too much time in the red, you're going out of business on fuel. And so you don't have to do all that other stuff about miles per gallon, all those things. If you just look at fuel profitability, it'll tell you exactly what's going on. And then you need to know what levers to pull to get it going in the right direction. And then we have KPIs for that.
Interesting. What would you say makes a really good contractor stand out from someone who might be failing or just is average?
Well, I don't think it's as easy as one thing to be a very successful contractor. Successful contractors are paying attention to a lot of things. So it's the ability to be on top of a lot of things without spending a lot of time on it. And I always say, and you guys have heard me say it before, that the most important resource in a Linehaul company is the owner's time, because the owner's the one with his house on the line for all these truck loans, etc. And so what we're trying to do in MyGroundForce is to make the owner's time more efficient. I'm a contractor, so I try to make my time the most valuable application as possible. So what we do is we do all the things that owners normally would do, calculating this, calculating that, put decision information at their fingertips, and then let them make decisions. Pull levers, see how it worked, and then next week you can pull another set of levers because we give you that updated data every week.
In terms of interacting with, say, your drivers, does it make it easier when you're breaking it down to kind of interact with them and help correct actions or help explain why they should, operate more safely or operate a certain way?
Well, I think one of the key retention levers that you can pull is driver communication, right? So the more you communicate with drivers and the more effectively you communicate with them, the more successful you're going to be in retaining drivers. Retention is more than what you pay them, right? It's their work environment and how they operate. But you still have to control driver behavior. And so you have to have an active program on how you're doing those kinds of things. And if you spend all your time running spreadsheets and calculators and things like that, you don't have the time you need to invest in driver management. And so we use an app that helps us do a lot of things and makes all of that more effective.
That's a really good point. So right now I have to log into, MyGroundBiz, right? Would it essentially replace that for me? Do I have to download documents to get it into the software? How does that work?
I almost never log into my biz account. The software, the robots wake up on Tuesday night when the settlements get released. They go to the portal, they download your worst settlement.
It automatically pushes over. No more having to remember my password.
No, we'll change your password for you and tell you what it is. You never have to worry about going through that reset process again. These robots can do anything you're doing on your computer. We do away with that. The robots do the work.
Welcome to the future.
And then we use advanced AI to do all these analysis algorithms and give you all these dashboards. We remind your drivers to get their CDL done. We'll tell you when the truck is due for maintenance. We'll do your monthly maintenance reports for you. We'll find your line haul exceptions and allow you to submit them from MyGroundForce without logging into my biz account.
That's huge. Like even the small things. Can you give us any anecdotes of contractors you worked for and how it improved their life? Maybe in terms of like margins and expenses?
Profitability or even their time, increased time.
Yeah, so we have a lot of use cases on that now, right? And including my own. And I'll give you two stats that I hear regularly. Save about $5,000 a year per truck, and your ROI is about 1,000%.
Okay.
Pays for itself, worth
We got
it.
facts and data for that. That's not ad speak. Anybody that knows me know that I'm not a bullshitter, so it's not going to be that guy.
It's MyGroundForce. It's very easy. You're very easy to get hold of. But how do you prefer people reach out to you?
Well, mygroundforce.com is the easiest way to get to us. There's a mountain of information there. You can schedule a demo. You can watch a demo. You can watch tutorial videos. You can do all kinds of things. And obviously you can call me. We're always available. And we're doing some advanced things right now. You can't do everything in the software and be good at everything. So we're bringing major partners on board the software. You can interact with them without logging into their capability. You just log into MyGroundForce and you get access to partners like TruckSpy, Safety Forward, a new tire pressure management system, Southern Tire Mart, Pilot Flange, Cox Fleet Services. All these folks are either on board the platform or we're in the process of bringing them on. And then it's all integrated. So, for instance, within the next 30 days, you'll be able to dispatch maintenance nationwide from MyGroundForce.
Oh, it's good. When that rolls out in 30 days?
Yeah.
Can you give us a little more of a preview of exactly how that's going to look for a contractor with a truck broken down 2,000 miles away from home?
Yeah, so we have a full fleet maintenance management capability. We use robots to plan your maintenance. You can issue work orders to any third party. We're going to integrate with Southern Tire Mart, Pilot Flange, so you'll be able to have a breakdown requirement, say, in Phoenix, and you'll be able to issue that work order to the Southern Tire Mart maintenance solution in Phoenix right from the platform.
That's cool.
And
That's
then when it's
cool.
repaired, the documents will flow back to you electronically, and we'll take those work orders and update your profitability by tractor for you. So we have solved the problem of figuring out how to do what where, and you just do it from the platform. And the platform is phone-friendly, tablet, laptop, computer, whatever.
Awesome.
That's huge.
You can take your entire business with you on your phone.
So I have one last question. What would you change about what FedEx is doing now? Or would you change anything?
I have a last question I'd like to ask.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Jump the gun.
What would you change about kind of what FedEx is doing now in any capacity? Increase opportunities, better ways to interact with FedEx as a whole?
Wow, we would need a 3-day seminar to answer that question. I would say the one thing that all companies wish they had right now is dispatch information, contemporaneous with what's going on.
Oh,
and
so true.
So I've talked to the leaders at FedEx about how it would be easy for them to give that to us. I don't know that that's going to make any progress. So what we've done is we've come up with dynamic dispatch, so you can manage it in MyGroundForce via driver app. In terms of all the other things that could go on that FedEx could do to make things better, There's a whole range of things, right? I think probably the biggest pain point in the entire network right now is how FedEx is managing the unassigned rotation. And that's a huge improvement, and there's a lot of negative consequences to the way they're doing it now. And the solution would also carry a lot of negative consequences, which I honestly think, and I've said this many times, I think FedEx either intently or unintentionally is managing Darwinian theory when it comes to the unassigned rotation, because people are failing everywhere. And they're not doing anything to help. I don't anticipate that's going to change. I think it's going to be a struggle for a while.
Are you saying that it's survival of the fittest, where the bigger contractors, the more successful contractors, are getting better runs on the unassigned rotation?
I don't know that that's the case. I don't think FedEx is giving anyone preferential treatment. I'm not suggesting that. What I'm suggesting is that if your business organization has a huge exposure to the unassigned rotation, your business is in jeopardy, because that unassigned rotation is probably overpowered by 25% around the country. And that's going to be a struggle. There's no easy, the contract does not give local senior managers the ability to manage their way out of it. And so they're kind of just letting things happen. That's what I mean by Darwinian theory. So if you're a contractor and you have huge exposure to the unassigned rotation solo, you need to be figuring out how to manage that, because it's a threat to your business.
Understood. Tim, thank you so much. Always a pleasure, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate talking to y'all.
Yeah.
MyGroundForce.com.
MyGroundForce.com.